A former NFL star accused of murdering 3 people may be planning an insanity defense. Attorneys for Aaron Hernandez asking a judge to order the New England Patriots to turn over his medical records, including psychological test results. Hernandez also filing a motion to be transferred to a jail closer to Boston for safety concerns and to be closer to his lawyers. Let's bring in Misty Marris and Ben Levine. Both are trial attorneys. Good to see you both. Do you mind if I start with Ben today?
Absolutely not.
So, Ben, why would his legal team want these medical records? Explain that to us.
Sure. What it sounds like Hernandez's attorneys are trying to pursue here is either a defense of insanity, or more likely, they're going to argue that Hernandez had diminished capacity. They're going to say that the diminished capacity is based upon his time with the New England Patriots with concussions, head trauma, and other related injuries, which would not allow him to plan or commit premeditated deliberate murder 3 separate times.
Yeah, okay. So, Misty, should they be allowed to be given access to these medical records?
There is no question that they're going to be given access to these medical records. And the reason being, these records are Hernandez's records. So his team, as long as he authorizes it, he can have those records. The question is whether or not those records will actually be admissible in court. And that's going to come down the line. We don't know yet because we don't know the content. And that's going to be based on the relevancy to the claims at issue.
What do you think about the claims that what Ben just brought up, that they may be trying to, stack up some defenses of insanity? I had concussions, I got my head knocked over, and so I allegedly killed some people.
I think it's 100% true what Ben's saying. That is absolutely what they're going for. They're going to try and set up a diminished capacity defense. However, I don't think that's going to hold water, and there's a reason for that. An insanity defense is extremely hard to plead. And based on the facts that we know from the indictment, somebody who has a diminished capacity doesn't take those steps to hide what they did. They don't have the idea of diminished capacity is, I didn't know my actions were wrong.
Ben, does Misty bring up a good point here?
She brings up a great point, and I think ultimately this is going to become a battle of experts if they do try to assert a insanity defense and or argue diminished capacity. And you're going to have to find a neurologist that's going to come on the stand and try to say that because of the injuries that he suffered on the New England Patriots and his mental state, that's the jump from being a 3-time multi-murderer.
Is this a slippery slope if somehow that they're actually to use this as his defense?
I think that I agree with Ben, definitely. There's going to be expert testimony. That's actually probably going to delay the trial because we're going to need to get experts in there to give him independent medical examinations on both sides. But I think no matter what is in the records, a jury is going to look at his actions. They're going to look at Hernandez's actions. They're going to say, is this really the act of someone who doesn't have the capacity to premeditate and to cover up a murder? And based on what we know right now, I don't think that that's going to hold water regardless of what the records say.
30 seconds, go ahead.
I also think that there might be a basis. Hernandez's attorneys right now might not want this to even get to a jury. They might think the evidence is so overwhelming that they might be using this diminished capacity argument to say he didn't have the intent to commit premeditated murder, but maybe we do a plea deal for second-degree murder and or manslaughter, which are 2 lesser crimes that have much lesser penalties.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but I don't think the DA is going to go for it. I think they're going to push for the premeditated.
Misty Marris, Ben Levine, thanks to both of you.